Good morning. Thank you. Got it. So I want to share with you a mantra and a mudra that we're actually going to be doing in our dark moon to full moon celebration. You could still jump in if you'd like to. It's a very special ritual, 18 days that I've put together, and you get a little goodie bag with it. But this is a mantra and mudra that will be a part of this 18 days, and I love it so much. So I want to share it with you. And even if you don't decide to jump into this 18 days, good morning, that I'm doing along with Josh and along with Allison and Neil. You'll have this mantra and mudra, and it is one of Lakshmi. It is one of our inner and outer prosperity. One of the things about working with moon intention, specifically dark moon to full moon, is that every time this happens, which is again and again and again, we have the opportunity to manifest, difference from just dreaming, but manifesting. And that happens when we take the darkness of the moon, which will be Tuesday, and the void, the openness, and we place our intention into it. And one of the things that I intend to do for this specific cycle is to connect with my superpowers. I'm going to connect with my sense of connecting to source and intuition and guidance and angelic forces. And that's what I'm intending to do in these 18 days. So everyone can have their own intention, but that is inner prosperity, is knowing that there's more of you than the amazingness that you know now. There's more of you than how great you are now. There's more of you. And so I wanted to read you something about Lakshmi, and then I'll show you the mudra and the mantra. Excuse me. Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance, is the most fulfilling way to the depths of Sri Sukta, which is the teachings of Lakshmi. She is not a female divinity or deity who lives in heaven and is reachable solely by the blessed ones. She is with us, in us, and all around us. She is beyond number and gender. She's all pervasive. Time, space, and the law of cause and effect are her creation. She is as integral to us as our own self-awareness. She is the might of the Almighty in us. She is as accessible to us as parents to their children and nutrients to every cell of our body. She is the vitality of our body, the pulsation of our breath, and the brilliance of our mind and the joy of our souls. So the absence of any sense of poverty, this place that we regain and open the floodgates of abundance, is inherent to us and the natural world. So we'll show you. First of all, you take the ring finger and the pinky finger and turn them down, and then bring your middle finger and your pointer finger to your thumb. I'll do it again. You take your ring finger and your pinky finger and put them down into your hand, and then your pointer and your middle come into your thumb. Place that down onto your lap. Close your eyes. See yourself as the abundance of prosperity. See yourself as the infinite. So interesting, right? We play with words. See yourself as the infinite in the void, the darkness, space. And then just repeat after me. Om Gum Shrim Mahalakshmi Swaha. Om Gum Shrim Mahalakshmi Swaha. Om Gum Shrim Mahalakshmi Swaha. Om Gum Shri Mahalakshmi Swaha. Om Gum Shri Mahalakshmi Swaha. Om Gum Shri Mahalakshmi Swaha. One more. Om Gum Shri Mahalakshmi Swaha. Just sit for a moment in that sensation, and that innocence, and that openness, and that freedom. Bring your hands together, your heart center. Inhale for the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Om. Place your hands down, open your eyes. Come onto your hands and knees, please, and press back into child's pose. Draw on your breath, the in breath and the out breath. Take in all of you. Gift of you. The absence of this realization, who you truly are, is a form of poverty. Manifestation of the goddess of abundance can be compared with the carving. There are numberless images contained in a piece of wood. Which image will emerge depends on the imagination and skill of the artist, for you are the artist. Come on up to your hands and knees. Into cat and cow, move your spine. Deep breathing here. Maybe even close your eyes. Enjoy the breath. Moving into hip circles if that feels good to you. I was saying that I've been committing to being on my mat every day. My favorite 3 things to do is cat, cow, hip circles, and child's pose. Couple down dogs. A lot of seated practice. Good, and when you feel ready, lift your hips up to the sky, downward facing dog. And here, enjoy the movement of your breath. Maybe even bend your knees so we come out of that straight leg for a moment. Lift your hips a little higher. Find the creases right at your thighs where that becomes lighter as you press the tops of your thighs back to straighten your legs, not your knees back. Tops of your thighs back. And then bend your elbows for a moment, come out of the straightness. Lift your armpits a little closer to the front of your mat, and then start to straighten your arms. Again, coming into that crookedness is really beautiful. Letting go of that effort. Maybe having more of the effort and the calmness come together as one. Good. Step gently to the front of your mat, like a walking meditation. Feel your feet as they imprint your mat. Make sure your feet are about 2 fist width apart. You have a little space. And then bend your knees deeply and reach your arms forward in a chair. Rise all the way up to stand. Take hold of your left wrist and pull to the right. And then come back to center and change sides. Come back to center, sit back to chair once again. Groins get very light, hands on your thighs. And cat-cow here, move here. Push your thighs down as you look forward and as you look back. Good, the next time you round, stay there and pump your navel in and out. When you need breath, inhale, look forward. And then exhale again, round, pump your navel. You don't have to do breath of fire here, just pump your navel in and out. Agnisara, just move that navel. And then when you need breath, look forward once again. We're in the kapha time of the year, right? So a lot of excess in the body, excess phlegm, excess water. One more time, as you inhale, look forward when you need. Exhale, round, pump your navel. And the next time you exhale, let your hands flow down to the floor. Beautiful. Again, fall onto your toes and then find your heels. Inhale, look forward, step back to plank pose. Taking Vashisthasana here, let your right hand hold you. Stack your left leg on top of your right leg. But I'm going to change it up really quick. Then step your left foot forward. Plant your left foot, take your left arm up and over your ear, bend that left knee, Noreen, bend it, that top, no, the one in front, bend it. So step it forward just a little bit and bend it. Yeah. Good, release the hand down, downward facing dog. Good, come forward to plank, left hand holds you, right leg on top, but only for a second. And then step the left foot forward, bend that knee, and take the right arm over your ear. Gorgeous. Yeah, nice, Ralph. Lift that right side body a little higher. Nice, Tony. Nice, Lisa. And then lower that hand down. Nice, Victoria, downward facing dog. That was like right out of the gate. Right foot forward. Please lower the back knee. Inhale your arms to the sky. Anjaneyasana. Pointing that knee right at that second toe. And then bend the elbows, lean back and be held. Good, bring your hands down to the floor. Straighten the front leg, Ardha Hanumanasana. Dig that front heel down, draw it back. Lean over that front leg. Hip creases move back. And the difference here is either you can round here or you can look forward, pull your heart forward and then puff out your kidneys. So you still have that really nice roundness in your back body, but you pull from the front of your spine first, if that makes sense. And then rebend that front knee, plant the foot, lift the back knee, step the back foot in just a little bit and go straight on both legs and use blocks underneath your hands if you need them. Parsvottanasana. We have a tendency to fall onto our baby toe side of our foot here, so really connect to that big toe side. Beautiful, everybody. Taking one more deep breath here. As you exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank pose. Stay for a moment, lowering your left knee down to the mat underneath your left hip. Slide your right heel to the floor, take your right arm to the sky. Another form of Vashisthasana. Good, now float your right leg up, reach your right leg up, and then maybe reach back for your ankle, or maybe stay right where you are. Navel in. Nice, Lauren. Nice, Jessica. Lower that down. Plank pose. Navel in, rib cage lifted. Lower the right knee down, left heel to the mat, left arm to the sky. Feel that energy drawing up through your right hand, so your right shoulder blade is deep on your back. And then float your left leg up if you'd like. Keep your head lifted so it's in line with your spine. Nice, Angela. Reach back for your ankle if you, I think I've said if you like 5 times in a row, but you can always choose. Gently release, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. The left foot steps forward, lower the back knee. Inhale the arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Bend those elbows, lean back. Keep sending the knee forward and breathe. In through the nose and out through the nose. Lowering your hands down, straighten that left leg, Ardha Hanumanasana. So you're making sure that that right knee is right underneath your hip. And then dig that left heel down, draw it back, hip creases move back. But again, find the front of that spine getting longer. Lift from the heart. In breath and out breath. In breath and out breath. And then rebend your left knee, lift your right knee up, your back knee up, step that back foot forward just a little bit. Go straight on both legs. Urdhva-uttanasana. Feel the mind even relaxing here into the abundant nature of Lakshmi. May I connect? May I see? May I feel? We were talking a lot last class about feeling. You know that often that we don't even connect with the things that we came into this world with. Step back, downward facing dog. Like feelings. Come forward to plank, and here's your chance to go all the way down to your belly. Taking you through vinyasa. Rise up, maybe open your mouth, stick out your tongue, relax that jaw. And press back into child's pose. Similarly, Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance, is intrinsically endowed with limitless attributes. Which attributes will emerge from her with what intensity and to what effect depends on the unique quality of the Shakti that we invoke of her. When we invoke her, she emerges and fills our inner and outer world with prosperity. We practice invoking her, bringing her into our life. That life force, that manifesting life force. The time that we reclaim our inner radiance and our birthright. Walk your upper body to the right side of your mat, stretching your left side body. And take it to the other side, please. Really beautiful, everybody. Come onto your hands, knees. And stretching your right leg behind you, your left arm out in front of you. Right leg behind you, left arm in front of you. Keeping the rib cage lifted, navel lift, drawn in. Nice, everybody. That head even lifted, really nice. And then reach back for that ankle if you'd like, or stay right where you are. Spread your toes. Nice, Maria. And change sides when you're ready. Bring the breath with you. Don't hold the breath. Almost like if we could think of conscious breathing throughout our day, not just in our yoga class. Go ahead, reach back for that ankle if you'd like. Filling up that breath bank all day long. And gently release. Awesome, downward facing dog. Place your right ankle on top of your left knee. Right ankle on top of your left knee. In front. And then bend your left knee. And then lift your hips super high. Keep flexing that right foot. And then change sides. Bring the left ankle on top of the right knee. Flex the foot, bend that right knee, lift your hips high to the sky. Pull the front of your spine, that's your stomach, nice and long. And then replace that, plant that. Good. Walk or jump to squat, please. Releasing into the pelvis. Connecting into that lower center, first, second, third chakra. Creativity is Lakshmi. It's all that we can create. It's all that we can offer. Under the teaching of Sky Woman. Allow your gifts to be presented to the world. That's why we came. Standing forward bend, please. Having your feet parallel to each other. Hands on your hips, press down through your legs, rise up to stand. Just pause to feel. If your mind stops on something, let it go. A little game we play with ourselves, let it go. So we can remain in the vastness, in the openness. And then go ahead and with eyes open, hug your left knee into your chest. Remember, the minute you hug your knee in, your tailbone often scoops. So send your sit bones back and wide here. And then place your left ankle on top of your right knee, just like you did a moment ago. Flex that left foot, sit back to chair, reach your arms up alongside your ears and breathe. That's it, Victoria. Nice. Pull those toes back. Nice, Andra. Now lower your forearms down to that left shin and press your forearms into that shin. You have something to activate and push against and resist. And press the sit bones back and wide and pull your navel in a lot. And then rise back up to that chair and then really release that leg. One too many things, Elisa, I know. Good. And try the right side. Bring the knee in. Remember, the sit bones go back and wide. Navel comes in, and then place that right ankle on top of that left knee. Take the arms up for chair. And again, pull from the front of your belly. So really think of lifting chest up, front belly lifting, spine, maybe squeeze it a little bit. Nice, Susan. And then lower your forearms down to the shin and press, give a little resistance. Good, reach those arms back up. Nice, Nancy. And then come on up. Good, sit back into chair. Take your left knee on top of your right knee, Garudasana. So knee on top of knee instead of ankle this time. And left elbow on top of right elbow. Squeeze your shins toward each other, breathe. And maybe lower your elbows down to meet your knees. Remember, the eagle is the great vision, the visionary. Good, inhale, reach your arms out and up, fly away. Beautiful. And as you're ready, we'll try the second side, right knee on top of left knee. Left elbow on top of right. Squeeze your shins toward each other. When you do that, you just activate more attention, more strength in those shins, protect your knees, will open your hips. And then fly away. Beautiful, everybody. Yep. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Interlace your palms and press straight up. Reach. Pull your rib cage back. Pull your inner groins back. It's a lightness of being when you do that. And then bend your elbows into those cactus arms. This is the hardest thing I believe we do in our practice. Maybe not the hardest, but one of the hardest is to start to come into a back bend here, but do not pop your ribs forward and do not pop your thighs forward. So keep your rib cage coming in as you lean back, keep your inner thighs moving in as you move back, keep moving back to that deepest standing back bend you can get into without popping your ribs forward and without popping your thighs forward. There's something brilliant and beautiful when you go into this back bend without doing that. There's freedom. Nice, and then bow forward. Nice, nice, nice. Step back, plank pose. And lower all the way down to your belly. Turn your cheek to the side. This is the Radiance Sutras, verse 53. Gaze out at space, aware of multicolored luminosity permeating everywhere. The blue sky filled with the rays from the sun. The night sky dark yet crisscrossed by the light of billion stars. How can this be? All space is the same inside you and far away. So lose yourself in spaciousness and come home to your true self. Lauren Roche is the author. Turn your cheek to the other side. He highlights Tejas, and Tejas is this beautiful word of radiance. It's our inner radiance. It's our Surya. It's the sun that comes from within us. Atman Rupa. This is my essence. This is my luster. This is expansion. This is my laughter. Atma Rupa. You come on up to Sphinx pose, elbows underneath your shoulders. Plant your palms, tuck your under, and lift your hips up, hips and knees up. So you're in a plank. Gorgeous, everybody. That was like effortless, like, oh, I'm up. Good, and come on down. I always do a shout out to my 86, I think she's about 86-year-old private. She's been with me for like 12 years. She's an amazing lady. She pops up into these forearm planks like no, she's 86. I mean, seriously, love her. Okay, we're gonna try this one. We're gonna turn that left forearm in just a little bit. You can either turn it completely parallel to the front of your mat or just slightly in. Left shoulder blade has to be on your back. You're gonna turn onto your left side and stack your right leg on top of your, so you're doing a Vashisthasana, but on your forearm. And then take your right arm up to the sky. Lift those hips up, hips up. Yes. Now inhale here. Now reach your right arm underneath your left rib cage. Pull it under, look down. And then reach your right arm back up to the sky. One more like that. Bring it down. And then reach it up. Now take that right arm over your ear. It's just a breath. And then lower that right arm down. Come back into Sphinx. I tell you about my 86-year-old, and then I ask you to do that. You're like, I'm not going to not do that. I know my timing. All right, let's try the other side, but you all did it. That's amazing. Second side. Don't forget to get that shoulder blade, that right shoulder blade on your back. And then you lift those hips up. You take that left arm to the sky. The left rib cage lifts a little bit more. And then take your left arm underneath your right and pull the ribs in, which feels so good. And then reach your left arm back up to the sky. Draw it under again. Pull the rib cage in. Tuck your chin. One more time. Lift up. And then pull down. Next time you lift up, just take that arm over your ear. Left ribs as high as they'll go. And then lower the left forearm down. Make a pillow with your hands and rest your forehead. So Tejas and Ojas, these are two of my favorite words. Tejas is our inner light. Ojas is our inner unctuousness. A place that is so healthy and vibrant. And vibrance is the Tejas, but Ojas is just that really powerful healthiness. We keep giving ourselves more and more of it through the practices that we do. Breathe into your back body here. And then slide your hands by your rib cage, preparing to come into Cobra. Bring your forehead to the mat. You want to feel your legs squeezing toward each other. So I don't want the feet directly next to each other, but I want the feeling of squeezing the legs toward each other. Hands are by the rib cage. Shoulders are already lifted up, navel in. And then inhale, come up just a little bit, a tiny bit. Exhale, come on down. Inhale up to the next vertebra. And then exhale, come on down. And do that a couple more times. So you're just lifting to each vertebra. You're touching each vertebra with your mind and with your breath. And then the next time you come up, just go into that intoxicated cobra where you just go side to side, just moving your hips, moving your shoulders. Nice, Victoria, nice, Lauren. And then press all the way back into child's pose. Nice, Andra. The only one that diminishes our light or our prosperity or our connection to source or that ability to create is us. The only one who blocks that, each and every one of us individually. So that's the good news. We can reactivate any of that inside ourselves. Downward facing dog, please. Inhaling your right leg back and up behind you, down dog split. And sending your right knee forward for pigeon, Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. Feel free to come onto your back if that's better for you. And that would be right ankle on top of left knee. Squeeze your knees toward each other. So there's such a thing as a sleepy pigeon, right? Where you just drop into the floor, which can be okay every now and then, but in general, squeeze your knees toward each other and really root down through that right foot so you connect to that shin, and then walk yourself forward, bringing your forehead to the mat, or a block is nice. And again, if you're lying on your back, your right ankle is on top of your left knee, flexing that foot. In Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, I'm not remembering which verse it is, but it says, meditate on what you love. Remember, that's kind of the offering prior to meditation, because once you move into meditation, it's a place beyond your focus. But in this sutra of Tejas, he says, never do practices unless you love it. Only meditate on the sun if you adore it. For love activates your instincts. And the ones you need to be successful is to protect, it goes on to something that we don't need to, but the bright appearance of the human body in health and beauty, fiery energy, vital power, essence, gold, luminosity, Tejas, Lakshmi. Let's take that thigh stretch. So walk your hands back up and reach your right hand back for that left ankle. I do not see anybody on your back, but if you're on your back, you can just stay right there. Oh yeah, Sarah. Yeah, stay right there. You're holding on to that ankle, open that shoulder, spread those toes. Beautiful. As you gently release, step back, downward facing dog. Take it through vinyasa of choice or none at all. So back to down dog, maybe move through plank, maybe just stay in dog. Good. Make sure if you're moving through the vinyasa, you don't drop the head. Keep your head in line with your spine. Super important. Nice, Angela. Left leg back and up behind you when you're ready. Just feel that split. And even when you're splitting your legs, squeeze your legs toward each other so the inner lining of your leg gets, that those energies get stronger. And then send your left knee forward for pigeon. Squeeze your knees toward each other, pull your navel in, lift your chest. Again, pull that front side of your body as long as you can. And then walk forward, forehead to the mat. Every day has a planet that rules it, and today is Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Feel yourself in that open, expanded, creative sensation. See your exhales getting just a little longer. And come on up for that twisting thigh stretch. So you're going to reach your left hand back for your right ankle. Squeeze your knees toward each other. Open up the shoulder. And gently release, sliding your right leg forward, Janu Shasana, right leg forward. Left foot inside your inner right thigh. So the left knee is bent, the right leg is straight. Very nice. You might need to put a blanket underneath your seat if your pelvis tends to, your sacrum is too underneath you. And then press your sit bones back and then lean over that right leg. Now look forward, pull the chest forward, the heart forward, so you get nice and long navel in, and then draw yourself over that leg once again. Good, inhale, come on up and just feel for a moment, pause. Extending that left leg and bending your right. Shavasana. Lengthen front body, back body, and then come forward over that left leg. Navel is going to twist just a little bit. Celebrating next week, Shivaratri is next week as well as the new moon. Shiva is that absolute consciousness. Whatever we destroy to create. Something very beautiful about celebrating Shiva in that dark moon, in that void. If you would like to, Neil will be doing storytelling and practices around Shiva on Saturday. Come on up slowly, pause to feel. And then bring the soles of your feet together, Baddha Konasana. Again, this is where you might need, if your hips are a little tighter, a blanket underneath your seat. Often we think about picking up those toes, but really root those baby toes down into the floor. Maybe lift up your shins just a little bit to activate that, and then lean forward and then let the knees naturally drop. Beautiful. Slowly come on up and come to a cross-legged position. Take your hands in front of you and step back, downward facing dog. Stretch it out. So some of you will want more padding for this. I'm going to take you to where I would like us to go, and then you choose if you need a blanket. So step your right foot forward. Walk to the left until you come to the center of your mat. Prasarita Padottanasana. And then drop your knees. I know this is a weird way to get into it, but it works. Drop your knees down to the mat because I'm coming into frog, so frog. Drop your knees down to the mat. Your knee and your ankle are in the same line. Your feet are turned out here. This is where the padding of your mat might not be enough, and you might want to put a blanket underneath your knees. If you feel okay here, walk yourself forward onto your forearms, but here's the trick, everybody. You have to keep your rib cage drawn in. You have to keep your navel drawn in. So don't drop your rib cage to the floor. It will create an unprotected pose. And then you might find yourself pushing your hips back to give you more sensation. or letting your body draw forward for more sensation. And the only thing I'm going to suggest here is if your knees are speaking to you, come into child's pose. I do not want your knees to talk to you. You can feel this in the hips. You can feel this in the low back. You can feel this in different parts of the body, but not in your knees. I don't want any knee pain. Keep the navel lifted, ribcage lifted. Good, and then walk yourself back. My favorite way to come out of it is just to pop your hips back up to the sky, straighten your legs, step onto your mat. If you're off your mat, Prasarita Padottanasana. Yep, yep. And then walk your hands to the front of the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Come on down to your knees. Those of you with some tight hips are just about to yell at me. So you're going to be like, she's trying to kill us. Right knee in front of left knee. Sit back between your heels. Gomukhasana. Here's where a block would be really great to sit back on if you need. Yeah, if your top knee is super high, maybe sit up on something. And if you really are uncomfortable here, bring your right shin in front of your left shin. That is not the case in the room. But if that's happening at home at all, put your right shin in front of your left shin. If you're comfortable here, walk forward. Maybe bring your chin over your knee. Gomukhasana. A really fun way to come out of this, if you walk yourself back, you lift up your seat and then you just twirl to the right until you find yourself coming back to the other side. Go ahead and try it. Lift up, twirl to the right. Yeah, until you come all the way over. Now your left knee is going to be on top of your right knee. Come on, party goers. This is a party trick. No, Ralph, no. All right, left knee on top of right, however you find yourself there. Left knee on top of right knee. And again, maybe a block underneath your seat or a blanket. And then as you're ready, come into your forward fold. Also beginning Wednesday, we're having a 6 a.m. class, sunrise class, beginning on Zoom only, 6 to 7 a.m. with a brand new teacher. That is a great time for you. Hop on. It's going to be a very special class. Begins with bowing. Gratitude. Walking yourself back up. Take your legs nice and wide. maybe lift your seat and send back again. I don't think you could ever do that enough. And then walk yourself forward any amount. And maybe today you need to bend those knees to create more space in your back. Sometimes we have to decide between hamstrings and back. Maybe bending your knees and get longer in your spine. Wander over to your right leg, keeping your right arm inside your right leg. Take your left arm over your ear side stretch. Try to keep that top arm as straight as you can and really root through that left hip. Don't let the left butt cheek lift up. And take it to the other side. Nice. Angela, come back to center. Good. Squeeze those legs back together. Bend your knees. Lean back into boat pose. Lift your feet off the floor, reaching your arms out in front of you. Nice, Victoria. Lift that chest a lot. Pull it up, up, up. Remember, I still want that shin action here. Squeezing your shins toward each other, widening your inner knees just a little bit. Good. Now plant your feet down on the floor, keeping your knees bent. Bring your hands behind you, fingertips towards your butt, and lift up your hips, coming into that reverse table. Yep. Nice, Maria. Beautiful, beautiful. Nice, Sarah. Lower that down. And one more time, lifting up those feet, boat pose. And one more time, bringing the hands behind you, bending your knees, plant your feet, and lift your hips up. And lower all the way back down. Super beautiful. Here is your opportunity to go upside down. If you would like to do headstand, handstand, forearm balance, or legs up the wall, or even lying on your back, taking your legs to the sky. Shoulder stand is an option. Very first connection we have to that pulsation is our breath, our life force. Breathing in and breathing out. Prosperity allows us to become more joyful and generous. We experience that life force, that divine force pulsating through us. And the chant I started is with gum or gum, the seed sound for Ganesha. Shreem is the seed sound for Lakshmi. So we're just invoking that energy inside of us to expand. Swaha means I offer it to the highest good. So Om Gum Shreem. Maha means great. Lakshmi Swaha. Wherever you find yourself, breathe deeply into it. A couple more moments here. Nourishing yourself, taking care of yourself. Deep love. Last minute here. If you need to come out of it before that, please do. And here's great news. For those of you on your back, you're going to stay there. If you're not on your back, go ahead and lay down. If you have a block, grab a block or a blanket. I would like for you to do a supported bridge pose. You bend your knees, you lift your hips, and you place your sacrum on a block or a blanket, bolster, anything that lifts it up, book. You do want to keep the action in your shins, but I do want you to have a soft belly here. So as you relax yourself onto the block, and if you don't have a block, just come up and then come down and come back up a couple times. But I really want soft belly here, soft belly breathing. It's really important throughout our practice to engage that navel center, but here I want you to release it. If you don't have a block, make sure you come down and then go back up. And then as you release the block, bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop open. Supine Baddha Konasana. If you would like to take your hands down to your low belly and just rest your hands there into that second chakra energy. Interesting, I was reading to you from Glennon Doyle's book the other day on Tuesday, and she was talking about breathing down into the belly to connect to source. And I really like that because often I breathe into my third eye or the crown of my head to have that feeling of connecting to source, though I know source is everywhere. But feel that sense of breathing into the belly to connect to all that is. Your next exhale, draw your knees together. Stretch your right leg back out to the floor as your left knee comes in. And taking your left knee over to the right spinal twist. You might need to shift your hips slightly over as well. Coming back to center, switching sides. As you feel complete, allow yourself to drop into Shavasana. Make sure you're warm. So gently begin to deepen your breath. Your body stretch and yawn in any way that serves you well. And drawing your knees into your chest, roll to the right side and come on up to sit. Bring your hands together at your heart center. I'm so grateful each and every day to do this work together. It keeps us accountable. It keeps us in that place of knowing when we do this together, we elevate not only ourselves, but the world. Inhale for the sound of Om, deep breath in. Letting your hands to the space between your eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful day. Go make it great and greater and greater and greater.
Thank you.